Last November, voters approved a $125 million general obligation bond to finance both the public safety building and an emergency operations center in Salt Lake City. Recently, the public got its first look at a proposed concept for the facility, and here to discuss the project is David Hart. David is the Vice President and Regional Manager of MOCA Systems and is the project manager on this project. David, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
First, let's talk about the site. I think it's important to let people know exactly where we're talking about, make sure everyone's got that mental map in their head that we're talking about the block just east of Library Square in downtown,
right.
And then the southern end of that block to house the facility. What went into determining where to put the building? How difficult was it, and why did you ultimately end up there?
Sure. Well, several months ago, we went through and looked at 10 different sites throughout the city. And after going through and looking at the vibrance of those sites and how those sites related to the civic campus and how they related to downtown, some of the technical side dealing with liquefaction and earthquake resistivity, we chose this site as the preferred site because it seemed to mitigate a lot of the concerns and support a lot of the desires.
Now, talk to me a little bit about the design of the building. You know, you found a place to put it, now you've got to figure out what the building's going to look like and how it's going to function. I think for most people that just look at the design, you say, there's kind of a yin-yang thing going on here with the public safety building and then the library. Was that done intentionally, or how does that maximize the benefits to the building?
Well, the building design is really responding to the urban design constraints that have been placed upon the project by the community, such as maintaining the walkway that goes, the mid-block crossing that goes from City Hall all the way through Library Square and towards the east. We want to reinforce 3rd South and make sure that whatever's done along 3rd South, we maintain the bike lanes, we keep the traffic flowing, but there may be some narrowing or some adjustment to that. We also want to respond to the need to make Blair Street more of a public access way, and then try to provide some public open space. And so you'll notice that in the plan there's this carved out portion of the plan where the public open space drifts in, and that pulls people off of the pathway towards the public safety building, creating more of a welcoming environment, but still maintains the integrity of that pathway and then some of the other options that feed off of that. We're hoping that by maintaining the walkway as it is, that we can then see some transit-oriented development take place to the north. There's
kind of a nice balance then between functionality and feng shui.
Right.
And when we talk about the facility itself, this isn't an easy building to design. You're not just building a house or something simple. It's a building that has to serve as an emergency operations center and has to withstand a disaster. And then obviously building a public safety building also has its challenges. So tell me about some of those challenges that you face and how you're going to go forward with that.
Sure. Well, each component, the police, fire, and the emergency operation, all have a programmatic need. So they've got varying elements within their own organizations. On top of that, they want to work together. They want to intermingle. They want to be part of the same team, so to speak. Having the emergency operations center there adds another level of complexity, but it also adds a real benefit to the city in that you're getting all of the emergency responders in one location. Well, what that does is add a level of need to the building to be able to withstand and resist any type of disaster or earthquake, and so the structural portion of the building will be very high so that we can resist an earthquake and it will stay in operation. We're looking at the opportunity to go as far as we can with energy conservation. It seems to make a lot of sense that if we could push to net zero, for example, during an emergency, then we wouldn't have to worry about where a lot of the energy is coming from. So we're trying to tie a lot of different goals and a lot of different elements into this project.
You've recently named a builder for the building, and we know, give me a little idea of who's going to build it and what the timeline is.
Well, we went through a qualification and bid process for a construction manager, and we had 4 very qualified firms submit bids, and Oakland Construction was low. It was a very close bid, and we're very excited to have them on the team. We will start getting them acclimated here in the next little bit. Obviously the architect has been going for about a month, and we've got the concept drawings moving forward. Next step will be to go through and start validating some of the costs. The project, as far as schedule schedule is moving right along where we thought it would be. We're looking towards breaking ground the first part of next year. Hopefully around March we'll get into some of the heavy excavation with the goal of finishing the project around March of 2013.
Excellent. David Hart is the Vice President and Regional Manager of MOCA Systems and is the Project Manager for the new Public Safety Building and Emergency Operations Center in Salt Lake City. Now, the public is welcome to comment on this through about the 10th of September. You can do so by going to slcgov.com/opencityhall, slcgov.com/opencityhall. You can also find more information on our website at slchamber.com.